If you've ever felt like the thought patterns or beliefs of the people around you just might be keeping them in a cage, keep watching. I'm going to share a perspective and a practice that just might set them free. By the way, I'm Michael Ravenwood, and I'm an empowerment coach that throws real lightning bolts. So if you'd like to transform your life completely in 90 days, use the link in the bio or message me. One of the ways that we can really help people around us discover what's going on for them is to listen very carefully. Listening to exactly what they say, and beyond it, listen for the meaning. For example, if you have a friend who keeps saying over and over again in all kinds of contexts, "I just don't have enough time. There's just not enough time for that." What you've discovered is a belief that underlies a lot of their perspective. And because our perspectives are the key to how we feel about life, you've discovered something that just might transform their whole experience. When you discover these repeating patterns, you might ask your friend, "Why do you believe that you don't have enough time? Don't we all have the same 24 hours?" Expect a lot of pushback. Now, I'm assuming that you're going to ask this question of someone because you're a good enough friend that they're actually going to take the time to listen to you. How to choose your friends wisely is for another video. Now, teasing them like I just suggested you do might be a way to take an edge off of telling them something they might not want to hear. If they're a sensitive person, you might want to take a different tact and just ask gentle questions. Regardless of how you do it, what you're trying to establish is that the thing that they're saying is true is just as likely to be true as something else. To have a different experience of life, they might need to do something practical like accept less responsibilities and focus more on fewer things, or perhaps to put in place a system of priorities where they understand, okay, I've got all these things that I could be doing, but these are the most important, and I just need to focus on those. More than likely, though, it's just a state of mind created by a certain underlying belief. The practical things will certainly help, but if they don't get out of their minds this sense that everything's going to go wrong imminently if they don't do all of these things, then no matter how good their systems get, they're always going to be stressed out and anxious. Now, this applies to sadness, too. People might point out, oh, there's always more terrible, terrible things happening in the world. And of course, that's true. But there are also all kinds of wonderful things happening all over the place, all the time. You might point out that looking at reality is kind of like looking at two halves of a newspaper. On one half is all the negative things, and on the other half is all the positive things. And if you just zoom in on one of the pages, your whole world becomes just that side. Whereas if you pull back from everything, you might discover that there's more going on and you can have a balanced perspective. In this way, you're not ignoring the bad things that are happening in life or the challenges. You can still address them and face them and be a social activist if you want. And recognizing that there are also beautiful things happening in the world will help keep you nourished and vital. So you can address those challenges with more vim and vigor. So finally, once you've discovered maybe one of your own limiting beliefs, or those of your friends, you can create a little antidote. Once you recognize that both things could be equally true, you can start repeating to yourself whenever you catch yourself saying the limiting belief. Repeat the antidote a few times. You've probably said the one a million times, so you can catch up a bit. Once a person who feels like there's never enough time realizes that they could just as easily and truthfully say, there's plenty of time. There's plenty of time for everything that really needs to happen. Repeating that can actually reprogram the neurology a bit and open up a little more possibility in one's life. So if anything I've said in this video made sense to you, or you'd like to transform your life in 90 days, use the link in the bio or message me.